Welcome back to Adelante Chicago. This is the time of year when Chicago's Latino Film Festival rolls out some of the great foreign films that are coming to town. One of the organizers, Alejandro Riera, is joining us with a preview of some of the most notable movies that you can see coming up this weekend, really.
This weekend, really, for
week and a half, right?
Until June.
No,
listen
not
to me.
June. April 19th,
I'm
I think
so
it is.
desperate for summer right now that I'm thinking you.
It's
April
all right.
19th.
We all are. Nice to see you.
Nice
Always
to see you
fun.
again.
This is such
Always
a fun event.
I know, and such a fun segment to do because then I get to pick my favorites and tell people about them.
You get to play Dean Richards.
I get to
day.
play. I get to play Dean Richards.
There you go.
Well, I don't think Dean wants to hear that though.
Okay, let's talk about this year's festival. You know, every year it gets bigger and better.
Right.
And you say this year's no exception.
This year's no exception. I mean, I personally think this year has a stronger lineup than even last year's. I mean, I think last year's was pretty good, but there's some really outstanding films in this year's selection. Some of them which we'll be talking about in a second. Some of them which, you know, I will invite people to visit our website and check out on their own. And, you know, I will also invite them to check out every single publication out there because we've been getting all the capsule reviews, all the articles from our different publications. And, you know, the response among critics locally has been great.
This is wonderful.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. Okay, so let's get to some of the movies.
Let's do that.
We've got 4 different clips of movies that are going to be playing.
Yeah.
So the first one, we'll play it and then we'll talk about it. It's called American Curious. It's from Mexico. Take a look.
Hello? Whoa. Wait. Despacio? Do you speak English?
As I told you on the phone, your mother left you her restaurant and her house.
Why? She didn't even know me.
Already it looks good. It looks good. Tell me about that.
Well, this is a film by Gaby Lara. I think it's her first film, and it has a Chicago connection. It's the story of this stand-up comedian based out of Chicago, an American stand-up comedian who gets a call from Mexico from some lawyers who tell him that his birth mother has passed away and she has bequeathed him her restaurant.
Oh.
So he's curious about what this is all about because, you know, he hasn't heard from his birth mother in a long time, so he flies down to Mexico to find out what is this whole restaurant business about. And it turns into a sort of search for his own roots. So I found it fascinating. That's why I wanted to highlight it because it has this wonderful Chicago connection that just came out of the blue. And it features Ana Claudia Talancón. It features the legendary actress Isela Vega. You know, the whole idea. I love the fact that this woman focused on one of those things that we're so well known for in Chicago, which is a stand-up comedy.
Okay. And so do you see a lot of Chicago in the movie, or is it mainly based in Mexico?
It's mostly based in Mexico. You do get some of that Chicago essence
like
at the
scenery
beginning,
and
like
stuff
scenery
like
and
that,
stuff like that, because really the heart of the film is this guy flying down to Mexico to find out who he really is, where he came from.
Cool.
Yeah, that is a really,
So
very...
when can people see that? Is that...
That's good, Laura. I don't have the dates in front of me.
We'll get them on our website.
Chicago Latino Film Festival.org.
I actually posted the Chicago Latino Film Festival web address on my Facebook page if you want to check it out there as well.
Chicago Latino Film Festival.org.
Okay, the next one we're just going to talk about a little bit. If we can roll some of that video. It's called Tita, A Life of Tango.
Tita, Life of Tango. It's the story of this you know, a lot of tango films tango biopics have always focused on the male performer or on the male dancer. This is that rare film that focuses on a legendary female performer, Tita, who knew anybody and everybody who made history in Argentina, from Eva Perón to Carlos Gardel to some of the great actors of Argentina's golden age of cinema. And this woman, from, you know, what I've read about her, she was rather rambunctious, rather wild.
She sounds fun.
Rather upfront about everything, very passionate. You know, she was
a lot, huh?
She was
a lot.
Yeah, she was pretty much too hot to handle. Let's put it that way. I'm trying to find a nice way to say it on TV without the FCC getting us in trouble.
I want to see this because you know my love of Argentina.
Absolutely.
And Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a good one. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Next one up, and this one actually has another really good Chicago connection. Let's take a look and then we'll talk about it. Murder in the Woods.
You kids lost? Be careful. A lot of roadkill out there.
Definitely, yeah. Call it Friday the 13th. with a Latino accent.
Ay, Dios mío. I don't know.
His name is not Jason, it's Jason.
Jason.
Actually, this is written by Yelena De Leon, who is a back of the yards race writer. This is her
Nice, I
first
love it.
film. It's a whole Latino cast. It's a very Latino spin on the old slasher film. Bunch of teenagers spending a night in the woods in this cabin that has this old, nasty, dark, brutal history, and it comes back to bite them.
Ooh. Okay.
And it stars Danny Trejo. Everybody loves Danny Trejo. We all love Danny Trejo.
I love the back of the yards connection.
I
It's
think
such a great community, and I hope this person's getting the attention that they deserve for this.
They are. I mean, they're very, I gotta say, they've been very aggressive in their marketing of this film for the Chicago Latino Film Festival. I mean, our ticket sales have been very robust for that film. They're very active. So they're very excited about being here. And it's actually, as we are airing this, the people will be able to get a chance to see it this weekend.
Okay, wonderful. Next up, let's take a look at it, the summit.
Yes.
El presidente viaja a su primera cumbre internacional. Ahora, el mundo entero se va a dar cuenta de que la Argentina tiene un presidente invisible. Esta cumbre es importante para todo el mundo.
¿Usted cree en
All right.
That looks deep.
That is our
looks
closing
deep.
night film, but there's
Okay.
one reason why you want to see it.
Why?
Darín. Come on,
Darín.
Ricardo
Oh,
Darín.
yeah.
You know, those eyes, that gaze, that intensity. It's our closing night film, and even though our closing night has sold out, we opened a second screening because Ricardo will be in town. We're honoring him with the Gloria Career Achievement Award. I will say, I mean, we don't like to think of this in terms of gets, but this is really a get. I mean, just to get Ricardo Darín to visit Chicago for the first time ever to attend our festival is huge. He plays the president of Argentina in this film, who's been invited to this summit of Latin American presidents as they try to build this sort of organization around oil making, oil production, and all the intrigues behind it.
Wow.
So, and it sold, as soon as people found out we were bringing Ricardo, it sold out.
That's
In a heartbeat. It was
That
just like
did it.
boom, in less than 24 hours. It was just
Okay.
crazy. So we had to open up a second screening on the Thursday of our closing night. And we hope that Darín will also at least stop by for that second screening and say hi to everybody and introduce
that
the
would be
film, which will be
great.
really nice.
That would be
So
great.
yeah, that's one of that we're ending out in a high note. I mean, how higher can you get when it comes to Latin American cinema than Darín, who is, you know, when people ask me, well, can you compare him to an American actor? It's like, nope, there's no comparison. He's unique.
Okay.
You know, every film he brings like a stamp of quality. You know,
So
it's
I can put up the third poster of him up on my office wall.
Oh,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
I'm kidding. You know what I noticed is that there seems to be a lot of Argentinian movies, right?
Well, we
and a
tried
big
to-
Argentinian influence. I
Well-
saw that last year as well.
Yeah, well, Argentina is one of the major producers of films
Yeah.
in Latin America. They have a solid, robust industry. We do try, you know, God knows how many films we got from Argentina this year. I think we got like about 50 to 60 submissions from
Wow.
Argentina.
Submissions.
Yeah. So we had to,
have to
bring
pare it
them
down.
down to those 3 or 4 or 5 that I think are going to have an impact here in Chicago, thinking of our audiences as well.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with Mexico, thing with Spain and Brazil. I mean, these are huge industries, which makes it, when you look at the quality of the films, it makes it really difficult to just cut them down to the 4 or 5, 6 films that we consider essential that we can bring here.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we could bring them all, but it's impossible.
I know,
They cost money.
I know. How do you go about picking them, though?
It's Pepe and a programming committee. A significant number of it are submissions. Maria Lopez, who is our operations and programming coordinator, she actually scouts film festivals. And by scouting, I don't mean we can't afford to fly to the film festivals, but she monitors every single film festival. She tries to find out what's playing there, and then she reaches out to the distributors for a copy of the film.
Yeah.
Some are more than happy to submit them. Some are like, depending on their marketing strategy. But we do our homework between the submissions, and then we provide access to these films to our programming committee so they can make the final choice.
And it's so nice that you try to really take into consideration, is there a Chicago connection? Is there a writer? Is there an actor? Is there,
Always. And it's not only about the Chicago connection, but also about, will it play well in Chicago? Will it play well with Chicago, with a Chicago Latino audience?
Yeah.
And will it transcend that audience as well? So there are all these permutations, all these things to take into consideration.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful.